Hey everybody, welcome to Marvel Movie News. Today we're talking about, let's see, what's this week? Comic-Con? I think Comic-Con is this week. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Fox Marvel TV show. We're going to talk Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok. There's so much to talk about. Just sit there and watch our opening and then we'll be right back.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel.
I mean, right?
It
Like, I'm
somehow
really
gets
bad.
both longer and more tangential. Like, it's somehow like...
No, it doesn't.
It's almost like...
It does not.
It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I actually thought that was...
I enjoy it.
I thought I was actually pretty good on
I
that
was
one. Anyway,
into
all
it.
right.
I was into it.
Hey everybody, we are the Marvel Movie News, coming to you, let's live from Asgard. Do we want to say
Let's
Asgard?
from Asgard.
Because, I mean, the Fox Marvel News is really big. Like, that TV show is pretty big.
Yeah.
But there's... I can't really attach that. Coming to you live from Fox Marvel Studios? Yeah.
Asgard.
Yeah. We are the Marvel Movie News, coming to you live from Asgard, where we tell you all the news from all the studios and why you should be as excited as we are. Subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel News. That's the first
It's
flow
the
we've
week
had in a
off.
long time.
It's the week
Yeah,
off.
It's the week off.
It's
the
okay.
week off.
I can, you can do no long by me.
Get out. Stop it. Subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News or find us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. You can also find us through the Popcorn Talk website, popcorntalknetwork.com. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN or at the Popcorn Talk. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Marvel News Show. And guys, if you'll tweet the link out to our show with a message telling people about our live show and how they should come watch it and play with us and talk to us and everything else, Doom in the booth will retweet you.
Doom is back in the booth in Latveria and is demanding tweets for being sent back.
But Doom killed it in the States last week.
No, he was actually in Latveria last week. He had our studio built.
Satellite. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
So,
I stole the studio, brought it to Latveria, and did the show there.
Good move.
You time jumped the studio to sometime in your future, then time jumped it back to our past.
Whole thing.
Leave it to Doom.
So we thought we'd have like an
Typical
OG
Doom.
Jest Matt and Coy show this week to bring us back because we missed it last week.
Yeah,
we missed you
it.
guys.
We missed it. As Coy said, Coy is here. He's at COYJANDREAU. I am at the Matt Key if you want to follow us over there. And voice of Doom, Zach Wilson, is at that Zach Wilson. Zach is spelled Z-A-C-H, not with a K.
That is correct.
Oh, thank you, Doom. That's very sweet of you. Also, we've got Colt Badeau tweeting from the Starjammer, the official fifth chair of the Marvel Movie News. I guess fifth chair is good. Yeah, okay.
Well, and we have Marvel's first family, the Jocks, so we got a little team going.
Yeah, it's nice. All right. So before we start, I just want to say, watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, we were discussing
We
it
were
right
just
before the
talking
show,
about that.
and I'm saying that it is getting. I've not seen it yet, and I know. But it's getting such rave reviews. I'm gonna say within the next 6 months, we'll get a Marvel announcement of them hiring those fellas because Marvel's so good at being like up and coming directors. Yoink.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put money on it, but I'm gonna put money on it.
I beseech you, the listener or the watcher of the YouTube show that we do, stop what you're doing right now. Like, even if you're driving in traffic, stop.
Pull over, stream
Pull
it.
up Netflix on your phone and watch all 8 hours of Stranger Things.
Tell your mom to be a little late for supper.
I know we're a Marvel Movie News show, but I just have to do that public service because it's only 8 hours and it is so good.
He compared his experience of watching it with the Doctor Strange trailer before the show. I'm just saying. This is Matt Key.
Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. So
Okay.
Doom also encourages you, if you're enjoying Stranger Things, to go watch Netflix's official after show on youtube.com/Netflix.
There's our plug. There's the tangent.
Or on iTunes. as well.
that's bringing it back to the
There it
show.
is, and we're back.
But honestly, what you said is dead on. Marvel, if they're smart, they will look at the Duffer Brothers, who are new. They seem like they've just recently been discovered.
And hungry.
And of course they're hungry, but it is so good. And it's like this very nostalgic 80s Spielberg meets Stephen King horror series.
And your idea was, and it's brilliant.
If Marvel is smart, they will pull the Duffer Brothers in because they're already with Netflix.
Right?
They will pull them in to do like a Midnight Suns, Darkhold Redeemers.
Late 80s, early 90s flavored Midnight Suns would be so sick.
Like early 90s, like 92, 93, Midnight Suns, Spirits of Vengeance miniseries.
And that's how it relates. That's why we had to get there. Because Midnight Suns, early 90s with these guys would be brilliant. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it this week.
I want one. Yeah, yes. I agree with you, Tony Stark. Marvel, if you watch our show at all, please, if you take anything away from this, A, thank you for doing Doctor Strange. We appreciate that. But B, get the Duffer Brothers to do Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Spirits of Vengeance, Midnight Suns. Sweet God, please do that. Okay, cool.
All right.
Moving on to the actual news. All right, so the big news this week, I thought we would start with this because it'll be fun to talk about it, methinks. There is a new X-Men based series ordered by Fox. Now, we already have Fox making David Haller, Legion.
Hellfire's done.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, let's
address that elephant in the room.
Hellfire is no longer in development. Hellfire was going to be about the Hellfire Club. I think it was taking place in the 60s. I think it was following an agent who was infiltrating the club. Yeah.
Mad Men era X-Men in a time of a sex club. Like that sounds so different and exciting.
I'm a little bummed. I love it. I'm a little bummed, but I also get I'm excited about the series that they announced though.
Right.
So the series that they announced, let me also say Fox has made a pilot commitment for a new X-Men series from the Burn Notice creator Matt Nix. Pilot commitment is a term that means they are promising to one of two things. The pilot will be made and the pilot will be aired. And it has to be aired or they have to pay the creators and other people involved a very heavy sum. So that is basically a stamp of validation on what Fox and Marvel have seen from Matt Nix. It's basically their way of saying, you know what, this is so good, we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to wager that this is so good that we will have no problem airing the pilot and developing this as a series.
Now, your theory, which I hadn't thought of, is one of my favorite series of all X-Men.
Wait, let me get to that because I haven't actually said what this is about.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting, and then I'm gonna just turn you loose because I've only read 2 or 3 issues of it. So the episode or the series, as reported by Variety, will focus on 2 ordinary parents who discover their children possess mutant powers. They are then forced to go on the run from a hostile government. The family then joins up with an underground network of mutants and must fight to survive. It's a co-production, a legit co-production with Fox and Marvel. I think with Hellfire, Marvel was Legion, sorry, not Hellfire. I think Marvel was maybe go ahead, take it, have fun with it. We like this idea. We give you our blessing. Thank you for paying us the licensing fee for it.
Here's some money.
But I also think that as the rumor went, Fox and Marvel were talking. I think that this is them legitimately talking and legitimately working together. I think Fox is starting to see the benefit, the full benefit of working with Marvel at publicly and creatively, creative collaboration.
It seems to be the more Sony and Marvel talk about how great their relationship is, Fox is this seems to be I feel like there's a very strong bond forming between all these separate studios and Marvel, and that's beautiful.
I totally agree, and it's Marvel saying you want to keep the licensing, you want to distribute it, you want to get the lion's share of the cash. That's fine. Just
let us shape it.
Sweet Jesus, please let us shape it and have fun with it and inform what you're doing with it, because at the end of the day, that's also our name on it.
Right. And it's their characters.
Marvel's that's showing up on whatever you show.
Right.
So please let us have some semblance of input.
And I feel like Marvel is doing such a good job with their own stuff. They're not as greedy. They have money. They're set. They're good.
Oh, they're good.
But I love the fact that they want their characters to have integrity. It shows how strong of a brand Marvel has with their characters.
Absolutely.
Even their characters that aren't licensed to them, they care so much that they're like, hey, have some money, go nuts. Please just let us respect our characters because they're our babies. And that to me shows Marvel is about more than just money. They're about artistic integrity and sharing. It's a beautiful thing.
Don't get us wrong. Marvel is still very much about money.
They're still making billions of dollars.
They're still making billions of dollars, Disney. And that's still their biggest goal.
No, I'm not saying they're becoming pacifists and going to Tibet and praying.
But here's the deal. Marvel still gains a lot from these deals.
Oh, absolutely.
They still get a percentage. They still make money off of what Fox or Sony is creating.
Right.
But here's the other thing. If Marvel sides, or if Fox decides to go with Marvel, like in the future. Like there were rumors last year that like Fox and Marvel were looking to do a Phase 4 thing.
Right. This just in, Matt Key confirms.
God,
Marvel Phase 4.
No, that is not. No,
Yep,
that was
there it is.
That was on Comic Book Movie last year in October. That is not me.
I just already confirmed it.
Stop it. I do not want to be a news source. I do not want to be a
Confirmed
rumor
by
mill.
Matt Key.
Stop it, everybody!
Hashtag Koi Fancast. Hashtag confirmed by Matt Key. Key confirmations.
Key confirms. No, like that was a rumor that was last year, but like if that's true, like I think this is a good sign.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe there are legitimate talks. And this is with like Marvel Television. They're a completely separate division from Marvel Cinematic.
Right.
All that being said, it seems like maybe Fox is starting to soften to the idea of maybe,
Right.
hey, maybe our Fantastic Four films are awful and we need help.
Please just guide us. Guide your hand.
Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine like a Phase 4 that included the Fantastic Four
And
and
it's
like
right there in the name. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. I love that idea. It'd be so great.
That's
And
like one of my favorite ideas right now.
once again,
is
I
that.
love the idea of a fully formed Fantastic Four that are adults that are already Marvel's first family. And you could totally do that with the Marvel Universe setup. And Phase 4 would be a great way to be like, oh, by the way, boop, great.
Yeah,
Into it.
and like that could feed into the Inhumans because Inhumans were initially premiered with Fantastic Four. I think Fantastic Four number 45. So like, come on,
It's right there.
That's right there.
One of the fun ideas that I've tossed around a lot, just like with friends, to bring the Fantastic Four into Phase 4, you just have them be from the 50s, be the true Marvel's first family, and they've been lost in space for all this time, and they show up
my God, that would be
post-Infinity
so
War
awesome.
going, what happened here? What is this world we have fallen into?
I love that idea.
And then they still have like the 1950s nuclear family values.
Right.
Like
They wouldn't understand why everyone's so messed up. I love that idea. And if they're going to be people that have these amazing powers, why not have them trapped in time? That's perfect.
oh, dude, Doom,
Why don't you write the
Doom.
movie that they haven't made?
Doom, go write that movie right now.
All right, I'll leave you two alone.
Yeah, leave the booth. Just put it on a wide. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a great
great
idea.
idea.
All right, so going back to the Fox Marvel Skibidi-Boo TV show, here's what I think they're gonna do. Generation X.
Now, that is
And
one of my
and this is where
favorite
I want to
series.
just be like, here's the grenade. Koi explode.
Okay, so Generation X is an amazing series that Chris Pacello drew beautifully in the 90s. It was probably the most 90s flavored series. We even got an
Really
amazing
is.
Generation X pilot that aired on Fox once, and you can find on VHS somewhere, I'm sure. Now, this pilot could be something really special because it allows a parallel X-Men universe while still existing within the X-Men universe. It allows us to have a separate, differently flavored world that still could coincide with X-Men because it's Emma Frost's school. So we could have all the X-Men that wouldn't work kind of like in canon with the major cinema universe. You could have all the characters we want to see, but it would be a little side project. Now, Generation X is super wonky. It's very fun.
It's
so
out
surreal.
there. It is so out
The
there.
art is the artist who's doing Doctor Strange right now, and he's had
yeah,
this.
and I love him.
Oh,
like
he's brilliant.
he's killing.
He's had the surrealist
Like,
style his
so
whole
good.
career, and now imagine X-Men through that perspective. You've got characters like Chamber, who, when he manifested his powers, half of his face blew off, and now his upper chest and lower face is one psionic fire orb that he just speaks through in your head. So I would love to see, and I've said this before in the show because Chamber's one of my favorites, I would love to see Robert Pattinson get the chance to actually show how good he is not in a Twilight movie, because that dude can act. If there's a movie with him and Guy Pearce where he somehow outshone Guy Pearce, and that blew me away.
Whoa, did it really?
It's called The Rover, and it's an indie Australian film, and literally the whole time you're like, can we get rid of Guy Pearce and Pattinson come back? And it's brilliant. And that's saying a lot because Guy Pearce is brilliant.
Guy Pearce is amazing.
Pattinson just like handles that movie. So I would love to have actors that wouldn't necessarily want to be tied into these larger projects be able to pop in and do that kind of thing. So Pattinson as Chamber would be great. It's got Emma Frost, who we could now use properly. If they go with a age appropriate Emma Frost, I'd love Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl, because she has the cold calculatingness while
But do you
also
think
being
that she would do television? Like, she seems like she's more of a cinematic actress.
that Marvel money dough. I mean, if they
true.
invest in this, I'd love Rosamund Pike to be Emma Frost because she's cold, she's calculating
Yeah.
herself.
No,
so
she would be- she
there's
would be
something to her.
dead
You know,
on.
watch her.
She would be
she's-
dead on.
You could have Jubilee in it and do Jubilee right. You could have even the actors from the movie
Oh my
actually
God.
get some
Like,
time to.
and what's amazing about that is that Lana Condor actually was great as Jubilee.
Right.
Like she was great
Whenever
casting.
they let her talk.
And she had all of like 3 lines in that film.
Right.
Like and honest here's okay. I am not the biggest Jubilee fan.
Okay.
I'm just not. I don't discount people who are. I have quite a few friends who are massive Jubilee fans. She's just not my flavor, and that's okay. But I would watch the hell out of a movie with Jubilee in them all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And how they didn't have that scene.
And how they didn't have that, like
They filmed it, man.
like
They filmed them all.
I would watch Jubilee in the mall with like 2 or 3 other like X-Men girls, like
Right.
X girls, and that would be an amazing film. I would watch the hell out of that.
Well, the 90s is such a great time right now because it's nostalgic but also still relevant. So having a 90s flavored show set within the Marvel X-Men universe would be so much fun. And most importantly of all, it has a really diverse cast of mutants.
Yeah.
Half the mutants are races that don't get enough credit and enough roles in film and TV. And we'd actually get a Mexican-American actor to play Skin. We'd actually get Mondo's like a Samoan, if I remember correctly. We could actually have actors that deserve to have heroes that you identify with. Like the Ghostbusters came out this week. I enjoyed it more than I expected to.
Same here.
I also am enjoying the pictures, that famous picture of that little girl like looking at the Ghostbusters.
Oh my God.
That image is seared into my
God.
brain.
It's seared into
It's
my head.
beautiful.
I think it was Alan Kiss. Sorry, keep your point. I think Alan Kisser made, a friend of the show, made a great point on his Facebook. That's where I saw it, was on his Facebook feed, and he said something like, "Tell me how inclusion is not important now."
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that little girl like is seeing an older an older woman in a comedy in a main role that's traditionally for men, and she's just like mesmerized. She's
That's
like,
what I want Generation X to be. That's what I want. We've got an actress in her 40s playing a headmistress that is a sex symbol. A woman in her 40s playing a sex symbol that should be a thing on a major show. We have, this really racially diverse cast that are all like, hey, we feel really different, accept us. Like, that's something we need. We need heroes that are as diverse as the country is, and that is what I love about the Spider-Man cast. And this is a very SJW crazy tangent people will give crap for, but I think it's long overdue, and I think Generation X, if Marvel and Fox are teaming up as strong as they seem to be, this is the opportunity to get rid of all that upset flavor from Iron Fist and all those things that are, because these characters are canon, those races, and it's time. So I want that, and I think Generation X is the way to do it, and that was my very long tangent about my love of Generation X.
The question I have for you guys is, with this show, who is going to be in charge of the creative? Because like we know in the Sony deal, they've turned over creative control to Feige and Marvel. But Fox, if we're just talking about what's on TV right now, not the best track record with comic book based television.
That's totally fair. Hopefully some of the Netflix people, hopefully some of the showrunners at Netflix can maybe get some, because
Matt Nix is going to be the showrunner on it.
not showrunner, but creative consultant.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's someone that's a creative involved in the Netflix show can be creative involved, across the way.
I know that it's a co-production between Fox and Marvel Television with Bryan Singer, Lauren Schuler Donner, Simon Kinberg, and Jeff Loeb all acting as executive producers. And that's all I got, with Matt Nix also, obviously.
Right.
But like, I don't know. Jeff Loeb like had a quote where he said, "Marvel Television is thrilled to be co-producing with 20th Century Fox on our first project." So like,
It's definitely a new...
because Fox they've got Legion, but for him to say that this is their first project, that to me says Fox took Legion and ran with it.
Right.
And Marvel was like, yeah, it's fine. Give us our whatever licensing fee you owe us or whatever else.
But this seems like a
great.
true collaborative effort.
But this seems like it's a true collaborative effort, which is exciting to me because it could be a sign of things that are coming.
Right, I agree. And I think a great way to test it is with a pilot, because that's, X dollars versus X millions of dollars. Like, it's a smaller risk, and if it goes well, then that could lead to bigger and bigger things like we're talking about Phase 4.
Sure, yeah.
So this is probably the most exciting actual tangible bit of evidence we have of these rumors that have been going on for 10 years. Like, this seems to be maybe the seeds of it working.
Yeah, so Jeff Loeb's quote says, Matt, meaning Matt Nix, the writer, showrunner, Matt's a huge fan of the X-Men, and his take on X-Men with its rich characters and high-stakes adventures is exactly the show that we want on Fox.
Yeah.
It's a great team of creative producers who will be making something entirely unique. I mean, obviously there's like PR speak in there and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I still like I have faith with it. You know,
I'm excited
have faith in
for
it.
it.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Cool. Well, you ready to move on to some Thor Ragnarok news?
I think Generation X has the hope to be what we've all wanted an X-Men Marvel collaboration to be.
Yeah. Skibidi bop ba da bop boop. All right. So this week we had Taika Waititi, the direct. And by the way, before our show, you were talking about what?
Dude, Hunt for the Wilder
Hunt
People.
for the Wilder People.
Anyone that watched me on Movie Fights knows that I pitched Deadpool because I had to. He's my boy. But as far as movies this year, I think Civil War and Deadpool are in their own little category because those are movies I've been waiting since I was born to see. You know what I mean? But I think that as far as best movies of the year, Swiss Army Man and Hunt for the Wilder People will be movies that I will think of the rest of my life. The imagery in both of those films, the feelings those movies gave you is like nothing I've experienced recently. And I really think that Hunt for the Wilder People, if Thor is anything like the heart and the soul and the weird that movie brought, then we're in a great way for Phase 3 because I can't even describe that movie. Like I can't
Hunt
even.
for the Wilder People?
Yeah, it's like looking at a painting and then as you're looking at the painting, having nostalgic emotions about experiences you've never had.
Huh.
And that's the
Interesting.
movie. Like you're experiencing a journey you'll never go on, but the whole time you're like, this feels familiar. It's like when you're watching E.T. as a kid. You're like,
Yeah.
that's something I know, but an alien's here. It's that. It's you're having this
Well,
experience.
that's also like Stranger Things. It's that it's perfectly pulling at the nostalgia.
And Hunt for Wilder People set in New Zealand. I have no nostalgia for New Zealand. It somehow just has the right heartstrings
Wow.
to make you feel things you've never actually experienced. And the imagery is so dreamlike and amazing, and the acting is so good. And Thor is in great hands. I loved where the what's the darkness?
What We Do in the Shadows?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
I loved that movie, but I wasn't sure because of its documentary style how that would translate.
Sure.
This is more of a narrative, and it was beautiful, and I'm so excited. So excited. Top 5 of the year, easily.
For you.
For me, The Wilder People. Very excited.
Wow. It's some high praise.
Yeah,
sir.
because I've seen 60-some movies this year.
Wow. You
problem.
are a movie fan.
I am, yeah.
You're
I'm
a movie
there
fan.
3 or
And that's
4
okay.
a week. It's
That's
a
okay.
problem. I love
That's
it.
okay.
But now I gotta watch Stranger Things. I'll cut back this week, dive in.
Yeah. You'll thank me. You'll like stay up until like 6 a.m. watching it and be like, Matt Key, what have you done?
Just when I need less sleep.
By the way, I just want to point out that at I am the Knight 52, I am Vengeance, tweeted at us saying Stranger Things now loading. Thanks.
Yes. Excellent.
So I am Vengeance. You're welcome and thank you. All right. So Taika Waititi talked about Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. So Tessa Thompson is she doesn't look like the traditional Valkyrie from the comics. If we can see a picture of her real quick, and I think that maybe that has caused. I don't want to say an uproar, but I'm sure that there are some like very diehard Marvel fans who are like, wait, she doesn't look like Valkyrie. She's not
Right.
she's not white and blonde. And there's a place where that I get that argument and that frustration. But I also think that we absolutely have to start making room for
Right.
different ethnicities and different like genders and stuff like that. We've got to start swapping that stuff more, like the Tilda Swinton Ancient One. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
And that's your boy.
And well, I mean,
Well,
Dr.
they're in that
Strange,
that world, yeah.
But so I just want to read you this quote from Taika Waititi. It's a bit of a long one, so bear with me. But he says, right from the start, we wanted to diversify the cast, and it is hard when you are working with Vikings. You want to be more inclusive and provide a broader representation. And at that point, you have to look at the source material as a very loose inspiration, and then take it from there and go with your gut. Say, you know what? None of that stuff matters. Just because the character was blonde and white in the comic book, that doesn't matter. That's not what Valkyrie is about, and people forget that. Now, diehard fans will say, that's not really authentic to the comics, but as soon as they watch the movie and they're involved in the story and actually what's happening, everybody forgets. The fact that we even have to keep having this conversation is ridiculous because we keep forgetting. Unless it's the topic of the film, it shouldn't even be. Why do we even care? I think the story is the king, and you want the best person for the job. And Tessa tested against it. We cast a very broad net, and Tess was the best person. So
The best part of that quote for me, I love all the quote. The very last line for me is the fact they read so many people and she was the best.
She was the best.
That is what matters.
Yeah.
Like in casting, I just want the best actors for the role. I don't
Yeah.
care what they look like. If they fit the character, if there's nothing about them that betrays the character,
Yeah.
and they're the best actor,
yeah, done.
why not?
Why not? Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
change it up.
Right.
Change it up. Like we're probably gonna watch this and be like, oh my god, Valkyrie was incredible.
Dude, you saw Creed?
Dude, I'm excited because of Creed.
I can't even.
I haven't seen her in
with
anything
Creed.
else, but like
I can't even. Like
she
Creed
was
is just
so
perfect.
good in Creed. Yeah. I'm on board. I'm on board, and I hope that a lot of other people are on
5
board
minutes
with
into
it.
her in Creed, I was like, I want to know what she's doing next. And then I found out it was
Yeah.
Thor, and I was like, I'm very excited.
I'm
Like,
very excited for Thor.
It's easier for me to watch a movie because I'm already seeing Thor.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this is a great choice because I couldn't think of anyone for Valkyrie that I'd be more excited for.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Like, she's it because she deserved it.
So I want to. He was then asked how he thought they were able to get such an impressive cast, and he said the things that they want to do is very high quality and they tell good stories. Talking about Marvel, that's the main thing. That's why I got involved with them as well. At the heart of it, they want to tell good stories, and that's what I'm about as well. And so now he's talking about the cast, like Kate Blanchett, Jeff Goldblum, along with Marvel. They know that Marvel tells good stories, and they as actors want to tell good stories. So he's saying they want to tell good stories, and that's what I'm about as well. I'm not about explosions and the like. I like that stuff. I think it's fun to do, but it's not why I became a filmmaker. The thing I love is character and story. Like, just like hearing that on top of Wilder People.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like Thor Ragnarok is real. Like, I was initially like, it's a Thor movie, whatever. Like, they haven't had the best success. But
What
like,
is this? Because when we heard the first breakdown, it was like, yes, cosmic road trip movie. That's what?
And then they're like, we're gonna bring in the director of what we do in the shadows, and I was like, what? What are you doing? And like, with all the rumors around it, like the cosmic road trip, like Thor being cast out of Asgard, Thor fighting Hulk, then with the Grandmaster who is Jeff Goldblum. Like, what? I'm so
more weird
bewildered.
it gets, the more I'm into it.
Yeah, like I'm so bewildered by what weird nonsense they're doing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this film.
This is the movie I feel like I have no idea. Like Doctor Strange, I know I'm gonna enjoy it. But I have a good idea of what I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
And like even Ant-Man and the Wasp, like is my most anticipated in the next few years. I know what I'm gonna see more or less. I have no idea what Thor Ragnarok is going to look like.
I totally agree. When I went into Deadpool, I was like, they're either going to get this right or wrong. I knew it was one way or the other. With Thor Ragnarok, I'm literally going like, I don't know how this director can make the movie described because I don't know what the movie described is. Like, I literally can't exemplify what's going to happen.
But in the best way.
Oh,
like,
all
like that's
positive,
not a
100%.
knock against it
No.
at all. It's just like, what?
And you don't get that a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hunt for the Wilder People, super original. I haven't experienced that in a long time. So I'm really excited to watch a movie that I won't feel like I've seen 100 times. And it's a Thor movie? Yes.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, one of the reasons, like, I felt like when they were going back and forth on Joaquin Phoenix and Benedict Cumberbatch, like, one of the positives for me for Joaquin was, I don't know what I'm going to get with him.
Right.
Like, he's such a wild, like, loose cannon of an actor. Like, I have no idea. Like, whatever he gives me, I'm probably gonna love.
Right.
But, like, I have no idea like, with Benedict, I more or less know what I'm going to get. And I'm going to love it. I'm not knocking that. I know, but I have a better idea of, like, I know what I'm getting with Benedict Cumberbatch. And then, like, you see the trailer and you hear his voice and you're just like, that is exactly what I wanted and even better than what I expected. But, like, and I'm excited for that. But with Joaquin, one of the positives that he had was, I have no idea what to expect from him.
I have this beautiful image of Thor Ragnarok, like, in my head as Ralph Steadman art of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Thor is Hunter S. Thompson, and Dr. Gonzo is Hulk, and then in the back seat is Bruce Banner, and they're driving down the Rainbow Road, and it's amazing. That's what I picture when I think of this
Someone go
movie.
draw
I
that,
picture
please.
just acid dreams of Hunter S. Thompson. Like, it's just so wonky that my brain goes there, and I haven't had, like, Hunter S. Thompson thoughts of the superhero movie.
No,
like,
but you're right. Like my picture is like some like weird acid trip with like Hulk and Thor holding hands tripping through space.
Jeff
I'm just like,
Goldblum, like, narrating.
well, like Jeff Goldblum behind them with a whip going, fight for me.
Or just shirtless and, like, like, I just want all this weirdness.
Yeah, I'm so on board. I'm so on board.
Yeah,
I'm so
I
on
haven't been
board.
this excited for a Thor movie yet. And Thor was one of the first Phase 1 films, and just hearing the fact they're making a Thor movie, I was like, that's really exciting. This is more than that for me.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited for this one than I have been for any of the others. Yeah, I agree.
And Loki's been killing it. Now he doesn't have to rely on just Tom Hiddleston's charm. It's all of this plus Tom Hiddleston.
Well,
I think is that a good segue?
That's a good segue, Sarah. Hiddleston actually teases some fight scenes and such. He said, let's see here. Taika Waititi is brilliant, and his vision for his Thor film is so full of wit and humor and drama. He's really been so attentive over the screenplay. I'm so excited. It's a hell of a cast. It's got quite a lineup. So he's got that. He also said that I don't have the quote pulled, but he said he had a fight scene on set and that Hulk and Hemsworth were there. Thor were both there on set. But then he was like, but that doesn't mean I was fighting with them necessarily.
Have you been following his Mark Ruffalo's Instagram?
No.
It's brilliant.
Yeah?
Literally, there's one with him and like these giant.
Oh,
Hulk
I've
hands.
seen the picture. I haven't seen the video.
His whole Instagram is just him on set, and there's one with him and dots all over his face, just like talking, bored.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
like it's
for whatever reason, Taika Waititi and this whole crew is having so much fun with backstage antics. Like,
Well, I mean, look how fun the movies are. There's no way that's a boring set. Like those
Yeah.
movies come out that energetic. There's no way they're like, all right, let's go action. All right.
yeah, like I feel like they're all having a blast, and I feel like Taika Waititi is like playing.
Yeah.
It feels like he's not directing them so much as he's playing with them.
With $200 million.
Yeah.
Like he's just, here's all this money behind me. Make weird.
Yeah, let's make some really fun, weird stuff with like some incredible narrative.
And why
construction
not go
behind
that
it.
way?
Yeah.
Because Thor is such a wonky character, and we've had two movies that weren't quite right. And
Yeah.
I'm not knocking either one of them. They're movies that are good and worth watching,
Yeah,
but they're
they were
not
fun.
quite right.
Yeah.
And this could be, why not go left field?
yeah, let's go left.
So
Stop
I'm
turning right. Let's go left.
let's do it. I'm
It's gonna be
excited.
tricky. It's a trickier turn to make.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm excited for the left
And
turn.
if you see
Yeah.
Thor, Hemsworth's back in crazy Thor shape. I'm on Instagram
Yeah.
is my whole. I love like these guys on
Apparently so.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Just him doing like kung fu, just all Thored out. Like,
But Hemsworth in Ghostbusters was great.
dude, so good.
He was so good.
So
at that.
much fun.
He is
the
Kevin.
glasses bit.
So dumb.
I'd never thought I'd find that funny more than once, and it kept happening.
Yeah,
and it was
It's great.
brilliant.
All right, let's not spoil it for people who haven't seen it. Carl
Glasses.
Urban talked to a couple different sources this week. He says so. For those who have forgotten who Carl Urban is, he played
Bones.
Eomer in Lord of the Rings trilogy, and he plays Bones in Star Trek Beyond. And this is him. And I chose him from Lord of the Rings because I,
mean, the
felt
hair
like it was
makes
more
sense.
appropriate
Yeah.
for Thor.
He's also Dread, which is comic related, which might be a good reference for us.
Also,
I totally forgot he was in Lord of the Rings.
really
Look at that mane, man.
he's bald in Thor
Oh.
because he is Scourge, the
Oh, yeah,
executioner.
say that- yeah, that makes sense.
So Doom, there we go. He's this dude.
Right, I totally, yeah.
Like how? And by the way, the fact that they have this dude in a Thor, like I'm so excited. They've brought in the Executioner, and I have a theory that they're not doing the Enchantress, partially because
Scarlet Witch.
partially Scarlet Witch, but partially also because Suicide Squad has Enchantress. I don't think they want to have two Enchantresses.
Yeah, the name.
So I think Cate Blanchett as Hela is filling the role as Hela, but also taking on some
That
Enchantress
would make
like
some sense.
story points.
Yep, 2 enchantresses within 2 years is a little tricky.
Exactly. So, but like I think this picture, like if you took Enchantress out and put Cate Blanchett in as Hela, I think that is probably what we're gonna get with Hela.
Into it.
Is her like because Executioner has a big thing for Enchantress, like he's like her kind of like right hand man,
Right.
A bit of a lapdog in some ways, like very much in love with her, but it's very unrequited, that kind of stuff. I think that's probably what we're gonna get.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just excited for that axe.
And thought right. So here's what Carl Urban said. I just started shooting Ragnarok on the Gold Coast with Chris Hemsworth. I read a fun, action-packed script and love my character Scourge. I get to work a lot with Cate Blanchett, and that's why I have that theory. She and I were in Lord of the Rings together, but we never actually shared any screen time. I'm looking forward to that. Should be a fun experience. Then, talking to comicbook.com, he said, the coolest thing about Scourge, ? I think is probably his journey through the film. There's a change, and there's he finishes the film in a different place than he starts at, and as an actor, that's always something to look for. So
An arc for a
an
villain?
arc for but if you're familiar with Scourge at all, you know he's a bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. It's a villain with an arc.
He's
That's
a villain.
Great.
But and this could be a spoiler if you haven't read the comics and if you're like not looking for anything, but like in the comics, during the Thor Ragnarok storyline that Walt Simonson did, which is it's a classic. Go read it. It is incredible.
Beautiful art,
so
too.
good.
It's well
It's
timed.
such a good arc. It brings in all of the Thor mythos, but then it also brings in like all of the Avengers from like the mid to late 80s. Like Beta Ray Bill shows up. Like it's got everybody, and they're all fighting against Malekith and his dark elves and the Casket of Ancient Winters.
That's where I thought they were going with Dark World, was that arc.
That's where I was.
I
hoping
really
they
thought
would go
that's
with
what it was
too.
going to be.
I was hoping they were going to do that and then set up Ragnarok.
Right. But instead, we were getting 3 very different films, like 3 that feel very separate from each other. That's why Cap works so well. Is it was one beautiful arc.
Yeah, and that's Thor has been kind of disappointing in that way, and that they could have done that. But they've been fun films. We're not complaining, but they could have done it, notched it up just like that extra level if they'd been able to do that.
They were learning. They were babies.
Yeah, but in the Walt Simonson run, Scourge, despite the fact that he's fought against Asgard, much like Loki, realizes, well, I fought against Asgard because I love it so much, and I want to have my part. I want to have more of it. And now this giant freaking fire demon, fire god, Surtur from Muspelheim, is at the bridge. He's at the gates, and he's got the Twilight Sword. And if he gets in there, he could destroy Asgard and own reality, more or less.
Sounds like it's quote. Sounds like he might
And
change his
so,
mind.
like, Scourge the Executioner's like, no. And he's, instead of helping the villain, he stands his ground, and that's where, like, it's called Scourge's Last Stand, because that's where he dies. He dies fighting for
protecting,
Asgard. So when he says, I've got an arc in this film, my thought is, he starts off working with Hela.
Right.
But then he sees the full repercussions of everything that's going on. And is like, oh, no.
So might have to Sean Bean. Might have got to kill Carl Urban.
I'm guessing he dies in the film, making a last stand, turning his back on like the person that he loves to help defend Asgard.
Cool. I'm excited.
So,
once again, this movie's shaping up.
I can't wait for this movie. All right, let's move on to another movie that maybe I'm excited for it, maybe I'm not. Doctor Strange.
Oh, that movie. Heard about this. Heard about this movie.
Yeah, you've heard about this? Yeah. Heard about this? You know about this?
By the hoary host of Hogoth.
It's so weird that he says Hogoth, because I've always said Hoggoth. And every time I hear it, I'm like, but that's not right.
The only
but,
Key historian, the only Doctor Strange historian I know is Matt Key, so I assume everyone
but I
else
don't know
is-
if I'm pronouncing
I
it
assume
right. It's just the
everyone's
way I've
wrong.
always pronounced it.
But after Doctor Strange, you'll have all these right.
No,
Isn't that cool?
I know. And I'm excited about that, but I also don't want to be wrong.
Ooh, that's tricky. Your
Because,
pride
like-
versus your love of Benedict as Strange.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's a love of Benedict Strange, but this is like the definitive
true.
definition of those words. Like,
Right.
this is how, like, this is Marvel saying, this is how you say this word. I've always said Dormammu. Kevin Smith says Dormammu.
Interesting. I always said Dormammu as well.
So now I'm interested in, like, how do they say it? And how do they say it in the
Interesting.
movie? Because that by the hoary hosts of Hogoth. How did that? Hey, Doom, play that for me again. How does it
By
say?
the hoary host of Hogoth.
Hogoth.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't sound right to me.
It doesn't sound right to me, but if that's how he says it in the film, that's how it is.
gotta
And
go.
I'm
You
just
gotta
going
mix
to
it
have to
up.
change it,
Yeah.
even though I think it's wrong.
Definitive coming.
Anyway, Mads Mikkelsen. what was that?
Teach me.
Teach me, indeed. Oh, falling on my knees, teach me. Mads Mikkelsen talks about the humor in Doctor Strange this week. He says, let's see. So they asked him about his humor and, like, is he funny? And he says, you can't bring it yourself. If it's in the script, you have to sort of lean into the script that's already there. There is some talking about humor. My character is not necessarily carrying too much of it, but Doctor Strange is. There's a certain darkness in the Doctor and a sense of humor in there, absolutely. So that's interesting to me because, like, traditionally, like, not until Bendis got his hands on Doctor Strange did he have any semblance of a sense of humor. And even when Bendis was writing him, like in the New Avengers and stuff like that, he really didn't have much of it. Like, he would make more jokes because it was Bendis.
Right.
But even then, he wasn't a humorous
Whipping.
character.
They were punchy. The jokes were different. They were darker.
Yeah, and now, like, with Jason Aaron writing Doctor Strange on an incredible run. Like, one of my favorite Doctor Strange stories is this Jason Aaron one. And he's got more humor in it now.
Oh, because he's leading the book. It's only him. I feel like if you want a modern audience to read a comic, you need to have some humor. I just feel like it's a sign of the times.
They've Tony Starked him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's not quite not quite Tony Stark, but he's
I've
been
enjoyed
Starked a little bit.
Slight tangent.
Sure.
What I enjoyed is that in International Iron Man versus the Invincible Iron Man, how the humor is different and it's the same writer. I've really enjoyed how the Iron Man humor you can see the evolution
Bendis.
of. I mean, he's we can only sing his praises so often.
Yeah.
But whoa.
Bendis, yeah.
But Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange has another humor that I didn't expect from him, but it feels appropriate.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if that's the way they go.
So, and Cumberbatch actually later on in a different interview talked about I can't remember who he was talking with, but he said he was asked to define the difference between Sherlock and Doctor Strange, and he says the two men are intelligent, and that's it, finito. That's the only similarities. That's it. Stephen Strange is a lover. He's a materialist. He's arrogant, but he's got a great sense of humor. There are smatterings of the same colors that Sherlock has, but he's not on the spectrum.
That's fair.
And I'm like, it's a good
quote.
definition of it. Yeah. It's weird to see lover. I've never seen Doctor Strange as that, except with like in the 70s comics with Clea.
But they got Rachel McAdams, so there's definitely going to be that.
But they've got Rachel McAdams, and like he certainly has a bit of a like sort of love story with Night Nurse and The Oath with Brian K. Vaughan. I've never described him as a lover, but you know what, Benedict, I trust you.
I mean, heck.
I trust you, Cumberbatch.
You can be a lover of many things.
True.
Women,
Lover of the Mystic Arts, perhaps?
Perhaps. Teach me.
casting spells.
But I do love that they say he's a material, he's arrogant, and he's got a great sense of humor. So like I'm excited, and I think that Doctor Strange needs the humor.
Yeah, I mean,
Because this is going to be a tense, like horror trope filled
without the levity that doesn't work.
film. So Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh wait, there was also before we move on, a new Doctor Strange poster and some new Doctor Strange concept art I want to see real quick.
That's so cool.
We had at least 4 or 5 people on our Marvelites tweet that at me, and I appreciate it. Johnny Cross is the one that's coming to mind, but I know more than a few of you did that for me, and I see every single one of them. Thank you for tweeting them at me.
So cool.
But like, I just love that the Eye of Agamotto is glowing. Oh, it's glowing, and it is also scaring me that that's going to be an Infinity Stone. And that Doctor Strange is not going to have his Eye of Agamotto when Infinity War hits.
I don't think they can do that.
They can do whatever they want.
Well, yeah, but I don't think.
I hope that they don't.
Right.
I don't want to see him lose his Eye of Agamotto, but it may not have. They may decide to make it less of a thing for him for their cinematic Doctor Strange, and that's okay. It's not my preference, but I'll still get behind it. But we've got that, and then we've also got some really great concept art where it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. He is. It looks almost Jedi-like, and that he's like controlling like this weird ball sort of thing. Did I forget to send it in to him? I may have forgotten. I didn't think that I did, but I've had a lot of things going on.
You didn't think you forgot. I'm not sure if one can think they forgot. Is it possible for one to
just stop? Just stop. Just stop.
Audience, can one think they forgot?
You're so long. No. Just so long. Anyway, but like you can find it online, and I know I've got it on our Geek Girl Authority page. By the way, for those of you who are listening to our show, I've got Geek Girl Authority up our Marvel movie news page there. You can go find it there if you want to see the images or any links to the stories that we've talked about to get full quotes. There we go.
Almost there.
So we're gonna see this new concept art, but here's what it looks like to me. It looks like Doctor Strange is Jedi training. You know, like in the first film where like Luke has the blinder on and he's like zip 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 zip, and like the little drone is like shooting at him. It looks like Doctor Strange is training in magic with like an orb, and like this is like he's got to like figure out how to like use magic to float it around his hands and stuff. That's what it looks like to me.
Cool. That image is amazing.
And like let me just say, if they in the film have like spells surrounding his wrists, I will die.
I see that just hanging in your house. That painting just in like, you know, above
if I could get a life-size
that's what I'm saying, like
image of that like hanging above my fireplace that I don't have because I live in Los Angeles and we don't have fireplaces here.
I mean, Matt, I'd say, have you seen like the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Funko?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to get it.
And it looks like that's what they're doing because they have the little.
Oh really? I haven't seen that.
Him.
Oh my god, I didn't recognize that though. Yeah, I think they probably will because like how do you show magic?
Right.
Oh no, you're right. I have seen. Oh yeah. Oh.
Throw it on the screen.
Unbelievable.
This is unfortunately. Oop, that's a really bad picture.
That's all right. You get the.
But it's unfortunately a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, so you have to be there to get it, or spend a lot of money online.
Yeah,
That works.
I will. I think I'll be there on preview night. I think I'll be there on Wednesday night. Maybe I can buy it then because I have to have it. Like I have to, right?
I mean, I can't see a house without that.
I mean, I think it's legitimately a sin if I don't get it.
It's true.
Like I think I'm like going against the will of the Lord.
I just moved. You know what I think I'm buying? You know the image of Deadpool laying on the carpet, that first thing he bought? I found a giant canvas that's like, it's like 10 feet wide.
No, you didn't.
Giant, I might like, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
I might have to make that mine.
All right.
So
well,
Marvelites, if you're on Twitter, go tweet at Funko that the real Doctor Strange, aka the Matt needs this Funko.
I think it's fair.
Thank you, Doom, and thank you, Merry Marvellites, who do that.
Cut
I
to a
appreciate
picture
it.
of like the Charlie Cox moment, but it's you just with like hundreds of
Just like, oh, what do I do with all of these? Build a throne. All right, let's move on to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is actually really cool concept art. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw it. I loved it.
So in this concept art, we see our first real true look at Baby Groot, which is exciting. We see that Yondu and Nebula, we've heard rumors that they're definitely on the team, but now we've got concept art that seems to confirm that. And James Gunn actually said in a Facebook Live thing that he did that Yondu is definitely on the team, and Nebula, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. She's got a lot of stuff going on. Feels like she's probably fighting alongside the team, but never truly a Guardian.
That makes sense.
Per se. But here is what is very exciting about this image. We get our first look at Mantz. She's right behind Star-Lord and Nebula, and it's an actress named Pom Klementieff, who was in Old Boy, like the remake. That's all I know her from. And she looks great. She looks exactly like Mantz.
Yeah.
Like she's not as green, which I'm okay with because we've already got Gamora.
green, yeah.
So I actually don't even know how to describe the color. It's
But
a
look
little
at
bit
the
more
outfit.
gray.
The outfit is straight from that crazy 70s comic. Like that, she's got it.
She's got the antenna. As silly as those are,
I
she's
expected
got
the
them.
antenna.
Like,
I did not expect the crazy dress. I don't know why, but I'm very excited about it.
well, let me say. So I believe it was James. No, it was one of the producers, and a producer said this. I didn't write his name down, but he said of Mantz, she has never really experienced social interaction. Everything she learns about dealing with people, she learns from the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a very weird group to learn your social intricacies from. And that was to Entertainment Weekly. So yeah,
I just love Michael Rooker like Mary Poppinsing in the background. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
sort of like flying in.
I love that so much. There's so much good here.
Yeah, and then we've got like that, like I said, like the look at Baby Groot, and again we knew that Groot was gonna be Baby Groot, like we knew that,
right?
But like just seeing him like on Drax's shoulder, like surfing, just like striking that pose.
It's so much great toys. Like I'm not mad at the marketing they can do with this. Like the amount of toys they can sell and the cuteness of it doesn't feel like pandering because of how cute he is. So I'm really excited about it. And Star-Lord's new chess piece looks exciting. There's a lot. In this image.
There's a lot in this image to unpack that's really fun. So. All right, let us move on very quickly. Luke Cage. We've got our first poster for Luke Cage with art by Joe Quesada.
Yep.
Very exciting.
Past editor-in-chief of Marvel.
Yep.
And Pizza Boy in Kevin Smith films.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. There's a Quesada pizza, and he delivers the pizza.
Oh my god, I don't know that I knew that.
I'm
That's
a
awesome.
deep Kevin Smith fan.
Apparently,
Fun fact.
Apparently so.
Quesada
Apparently
pizza.
So yeah, we've got this amazing image of Luke Cage. They're doing their panel, I think, on Friday night.
People get to see some Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Most likely. It's
Most
not
likely,
confirmed,
yeah.
but
Hopefully so.
Luke Cage might be Thursday, and Shield
Is it
Friday.
Oh, is it Thursday night? Yeah, it might be Thursday night.
Everything's
Yeah.
Thursday. Thursday is so packed this year.
Yeah, it really is.
We're gonna have a big show on Tuesday.
We're gonna have a massive show on Tuesday. I would imagine DC is gonna have a big show next week too.
Yeah.
Like there's possible there's a lot of big rumors about the CW shows.
Yeah.
That if those are true,
2-hour show for DC.
Yeah. Like if they're true, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah. I
Also,
won't
Suicide
report on it.
Squad.
Oh my god, Suicide Squad! I can't the new trailer that they just dropped this week with Amanda Waller, all that stuff. I'm on.
Suicide Squad.
Done.
So
I'm done.
excited.
I can't
So-
wait.
so
I cannot wait for that film.
Yeah, confirmed. Luke Cage is
Thursday night.
Thursday.
It's like 5:45.
3.
The signing is at
signing
3.
at 3, and then the panel is
5:45.
at 5:45.
Yeah. 5:45 to 6:45. I know that because I have to be in rehearsal for the thing that I'm doing Friday night. that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about until next week. I actually don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Tell me after.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I'm helping out with the Fat Man on Batman show on Thursday night too. So
To be on topic about Luke Cage, I am very excited they went with traditional comic book yellow and just went for it. Like, dove in. They just like...
Here it is.
The
Luke
image
Cage.
of Daredevil, that John Romita Jr. inspired, like the ninja suit for season 1, that comic image, which I think is on their Steelbook that's coming out, is one of my favorite comic images of all time. This mirroring that and Netflix just diving into their comic roots makes me so happy.
So happy, dude. I'm so happy. Let's move on. We're running out of time a little bit. Deadpool. I got this in here just for you. Limited edition DVD signed by Ryan Reynolds at San Diego Comic-Con.
I saw that picture. Oh,
I
man.
have no idea how to get it, where to get it. I don't know. If I figure it out,
okay,
I will do my best to get a copy.
Because I will unfortunately not be at Comic-Con.
I know.
Very excited.
I will try to help you out, sweet boy. But
Deadpool touched all those.
I know. And he tweeted out, finally doing something constructive with my right hand, get a limited signed Deadpool Blu-ray only at San Diego Comic-Con. Deadpool is the emoji one. It's the skull, the poo, and the L.
Deadpool.
That's so many. Like, look how many Blu-rays that is.
Yeah, and he signed every single one of them. And that's, I don't know. I wish that I knew how to get them, and I'm sorry that I don't.
We'll find out.
I looked into it. I researched it. I gave it like 20, 30 minutes of like,
they'll announce it
falling down all the rabbit holes.
There.
Yeah, couldn't find it.
By the way, those of you looking at this on a small screen, he is wearing pants, even though it looks completely like he's not.
You're right. It does look like he is not.
He might have just been doing something else with his right hand.
Yeah. Well, he said he's finally doing something constructive.
Much love for Ryan Reynolds. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So
tweet at Ryan Reynolds and tell him to get Coy Jandro at DVD.
So last news, and this was not really news to me until one particular aspect of this story I read. Details on the Blu-ray DVD release of X-Men Apocalypse broke this week. It comes out digital HD September 9th, DVD, Blu-ray, and everything else October 4th, I think. It'll have deleted scenes, gag reel, rap party video, audio commentary from Bryan Singer and Simon Kinberg, behind-the-scenes documentary, and a photo gallery. Standard stuff that we get. But here is why I am including this in the news. Because a DVD release, not giant news. If you pre-order it on Amazon, I haven't looked into the details yet, but if you pre-order it, you get a vinyl Dazzler album.
That's awesome.
That by itself is like...
What music?
I want one.
No, I don't know if there is music. I don't think that there is. I think it's just a piece of art that's a Dazzler album.
That's amazing.
I've got the album in the run. Can we throw that up there, Mr. Doom? Dr. Doom? Sorry, you're a doctor. Look at that. Look at that.
Perfect.
I want that album.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is so perfect.
Is this confirmed? Can he confirm this?
Well, I can't confirm anything. I read it on comicbook.com that if you pre-order, you receive a Dazzler vinyl album cover.
It's amazing.
And I want it.
Yeah.
I have to have that. So I now have to pre-order. I very rarely do pre-orders. I'm like usually
I buy them when I get them.
I'll get it whenever.
Yeah.
I may have to pre-order it
I think that's worth
just to get the Dazzler vinyl album cover.
That's how they get you.
Dude,
It worked.
If this is true, like however you have to get it, it totally worked.
Yeah.
It totally worked on me. And by the way, good on you, Fox. That's brilliant.
Smart viral marketing.
That is absolutely brilliant.
If only
because,
Taylor Swift had been Dazzler.
Dude, I know, right? And if you're a true like X-Men fan, like you're gonna be like, oh well, I've got to have that.
Right, and that's working.
And like you didn't know you wanted it until you were like, wait, I could have a Dazzler album? Why has this never existed before? I want it.
Yeah.
I have to have that. So
Amazon says nothing now. I was trying to pre-order it while we were taping.
Doom must have this.
Doom must have
Doom
Dazzler.
needs this record.
Doom demands Dazzler. So let's that's the end of our news. Let's move on to Marvelites. Do you have your iTunes skibidi boops?
I do. Let me get those folks up here. So we have, I haven't been able to do this yet in July, so I'm going to breeze through the Julys real quick. I want to thank Martin 1984 102. By the holy something of whatever, this is a good show.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
I see what he did there.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then Coy, I challenge you from Kings and Shadows, wants to know, with all this Skrull in the MCU talk, who would you want to be in the band in the MCU who turns out to be a Skrull? We had John the Skrull from the Beatles. I'm thinking Coldplay would make a great modern version of that storyline. So a band that would turn out to be Skrulls.
That's
Interesting. It's not a band I appreciate necessarily, but it would explain a lot of his antics. I think Justin Bieber as a Skrull would be funny because he doesn't know how to act like a human on the planet.
That would be really funny.
That'd be funny, it'd be topical, and he loves playing himself in movies. I also think, let's see, as a Skrull, Katy Perry. I think Katy Perry as a Skrull would be really funny for some reason. I don't know why she just popped into my head.
I think Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift?
And here's why. Because she was a rock, like not rock, she did country. She was a country star. And then with her 1989 album, she's like, no, you know what? I'm going to do pop.
Right.
That's when she was kidnapped. She was country, and then the Skrull was like, I don't like country. I'm going to be a pop star.
Kanye, when he was a producer.
Oh my God.
And he doesn't,
Kanye as a Skrull
as
would
a
be...
Skrull, and you could just picture that chin coming out too.
Oh my God.
Kanye as a Skrull.
Kanye as a Skrull.
Hashtag.
Koi confirms Kanye as a Skrull.
Kanye Skrull. Hashtag.
I have an update on the Dazzler album.
You've been looking into this.
There's
for us.
some details. It is only if you pre-order the Blu-ray or DVD at San Diego Comic-Con. And according to Nerdist, you will receive a limited edition Dazzler vinyl cover.
Yeah.
That was briefly glimpsed. It does not say record.
No, I didn't say record. It's just the cover. Like, there's no record inside of it, I'm sure. And if it is a record, it's a dummy record. So, but the album cover, like, is
single.
Yeah, a Dazzler single would be pretty cool. All right, well,
and then my last two.
I will have to go pre-order it at Comic-Con now.
We also have Ruddy Adams 83 says Matt and Coy are the best. I love the show. Thanks for the shout out.
Thank you, Ruddy Album.
Appreciate it.
What was this? I said album.
Ruddy Adam.
Ruddy Adam. Thank you, Ruddy Adam.
Hoovian Cleaner in the TARDIS left us 4 stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Hoovian.
Marvel Movie News. Air Kill Master 13. Thank you for the 5 stars. And you can't go to the gym without listening. As a fellow comic bro, I appreciate that.
Comic dude bro.
Comic dude bros, man. They're a rare breed, but they're out there. Just trying to look like a superhero, man. I get it. And then Ian Tolland has a question. If we were to get Ghost Rider on Netflix, would you guys and girls like to see Johnny Blaze or another version of Ghost Rider?
I think I would... Who was the one after Johnny Blaze? It was Ketch.
Yeah.
Like, what was this? I can't remember. Danny Ketch?
Danny Ketch.
Yeah. I would want to see Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider, and Johnny Blaze with his Hellfire shotgun. But here's why. Narratively, that gives you a great story.
Right.
Because now you have a mentor.
Torch, yeah.
You have a mentor. So we never see Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider. Maybe we'll see it in a flashback after we've met Danny Ketch as Ghost Rider. But if we were to do a Netflix series where we could actually dive into the backgrounds and have time to play with it, I think it would be cool to see Danny Ketch learning how to be Ghost Rider from Johnny Blaze, who has a Hellfire shotgun.
I'd watch that show.
And like now you've got like a duo, and then like you try to find a way to squeeze Blade in there and everything else and get the Midnight Suns going.
As directed by the guys who do Strange Things.
Yeah.
And shout out request, your brother Austin is having an 18th birthday soon. Ian Tolland, happy birthday to your brother Austin. Hope he's listening.
Birthday. That's fantastic.
Birthday. Oh, and I do believe I owe a sexy shout out from last week.
Oh?
Because I remembered Gamer Girl. That was your birthday last week, and we really appreciate you on the show. Happy birthday, Gamer Girl.
I don't know. That's the worst music. Good work. Good work.
I got a little sidetracked because I heard that porn music that might have been from an SNS game. Like, it sounded like a 16-bit, like, porn music.
Dude, I am not a musician, by the way. I can barely sing songs that I know.
Can I get a Doom?
The soundboard froze.
It was too sexy.
It was too sexy for the soundboard.
It was too darkly sexy. I was just gonna say that you can play what other games with me you like, Gamer Girl. Happy birthday.
Brian Trotter at 40-some Geek says the band Slipknot are Skrulls.
They just wear masks over their chins. They just wear masks because they're just, they don't even bother.
Oh my god, Insane Clown Posse is Skrulls.
That's just real.
Let's see here. All right, well, let me go to my Marvelites.
Yes, please.
So, County Rebel at the Duke 95 tweeted to me saying, "Hey, I'm getting married this Friday to a great comic-loving girl.
Aww.
Can we get a shout-out for Will and Michelle?"
Yeah, Will and Michelle.
Yes, you can. Will and Michelle, happy marriage. As someone who is going through trying to figure out how to create a wedding, how to make a wedding happen. We're getting married in November to me, Brittany and me, not you and me.
No, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we could.
November might be crazy.
Yeah,
Be a big
Boom ships it.
Kikoi, Koiki.
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 Sounds like a person
like a
saying
Pokemon.
Corky.
I
Like,
think it might be a Pokemon.
Yeah, it'd be a Pokemon.
It would
yeah.
be a Pokemon for sure. You can catch us in next update
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah, Koiki.
Koiki.
Oh, I caught one. Oh, I wonder what the
sounds
evolution
Australian,
is. Yeah. But County Rebel, Will and Michelle, huge congratulations. My heart goes out to you on Friday. And congratulations on a comic girl finding a comic boy who can...
Amazing.
They can all...
You found a Mary Jane. It's real cute.
And she found her Peter Parker.
Beautiful thing.
That's great. It's great. Congratulations, you guys. I'm excited for you. And thank you for letting us know about it. Send us a picture of your wedding so we can show it off next week. Let's see here. We've got... Iran Kihano. I'm at Narc89. I apologize. I probably butchered your name. Please feel free to tell me how I should have pronounced it. Who would your Marvel wingman be?
Ooh. Marvel wingman. It's a weird one, but I think Ben Reilly, because he has all of the witticisms and smarts of Peter Parker, but he's got that beautiful bleach blonde do, and he's a little edgier. I'm gonna go Ben Reilly. I think he'd be good at picking up girls at the bar. Wingman.
I mean, Luke Cage?
Yeah.
Like, he would be a pretty solid wingman, but the only fear there would be like
He'd get the girl.
he would always.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta have someone that's really charming, but also you feel like you're on par or slightly better than.
But see if you went with the Netflix Luke Cage. He's the bartender.
Ooh, that's a good wingman. And also, Luke Cage was married. He'd be a great wingman because there's no way somebody's gonna take Jessica Jones' spot.
That's true.
I mean, that's a loyal man.
Yeah, well, he's a loyal man, and she.
I mean, it's Jessica
she won't
Jones.
let you.
Yeah.
she won't let you. She'll be like, "You talk to what girl?" And
Right.
then that girl disappears.
Charlie Cox, Daredevil would be a great wingman because he's very charming in every scene of the movie,
you're
right?
right. Oh,
and
you're right.
He's
Daredevil
really
would be a great
smart. He
wingman.
knows how to talk, and you're also friends with a lawyer.
I don't know. Foggy would argue with that statement.
Well, when he showed up,
When he showed up,
when he
he'd be
showed up, he'd be
great.
great.
Is there like a really good female character that'd be a great wingman? Like my first thought was Emma Frost. Then I was like, no.
No.
She would actually be very manipulative and potentially terrible wingman.
Yeah, I don't.
Jean Grey. Like the new, I like the young Jean Grey.
So
that's
corrupt.
in all new right now.
Oh, I don't think she could. I don't
Assuming
think she
she's
would do it.
up
I think she would be
age.
so uncomfortable with the whole thing. Like you need a girl who's like Jessica Jones could actually be a pretty cool wingman.
She might intimidate the girl.
She might intimidate her into going out with you. I better go out with Coy. That Jessica
get her
Jones
away
girl's
from me.
gonna beat me.
This is a good question.
Yeah, this is a great question. Well done at Narc89. Well, let's move on.
I mean, Squirrel Girl would obviously be a fun girl.
She would be fun, but I think I'd rather date Squirrel Girl than have her be my wing girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Squirrel Girl would be a lot. I mean, I'm basically marrying Squirrel
that's true.
Girl.
You are,
like,
that's true.
yeah.
It's just
So that's kind of unfair for me, like
Permanent
in
wing
some
woman.
way. Yeah, she's not a wing woman. Like she's my wife.
she's your Squirrel Girl.
Not a wing woman. She's my wife. Sounds like a 1940s comic.
Does Doctor Strange have any spells that up your game?
Of course he does. Of course, like yeah.
Love potion number 9. That's canon, right?
Yeah. I just don't know that I want Doctor
yeah,
Strange to
it's
be
just-
my wingman. I would rather him just be like my best friend and me go over to his house and watch Netflix.
Oh,
There's your soundbite. I just want to be my best friend.
Betsy's got it. Peggy.
Peggy.
Oh.
If you can help yourself from falling in love with her, she
that
would be a
would
great
be hard.
wing woman.
My God, Peggy Carter. Yeah,
that would be tough,
That'd be hard
but-
not to fall in love with Peggy Carter.
But I mean, she's with Captain America. There's no contest. You're not gonna be a better man than Captain America.
I mean, he's just the best man.
He's the best man.
What about Scott Lang?
I don't know.
I feel like
He could actually be a pretty good wingman.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's the most charming.
And he's pretty funny, but like he's not so charming and so funny that like every single.
How do we not think of the wingman of the Marvel Universe? Falcon.
Oh my God!
Falcon.
Yes.
Falcon is my definitive answer. I say Falcon is my wingman.
Yes.
All day, because that man,
Yes.
he knows he's funny, he's smart, he's in the military, he can control himself, he knows when to leave, he knows when to come back.
What about Happy Hogan?
Falcon.
John Favreau.
yeah, John Favreau.
He could be pretty good.
He could be. I stand by my thigh. I'm gonna
No,
definitively say Falcon.
Falcon.
Boom.
Falcon. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's
mine.
Solid
I'm
work.
gonna take 'em.
Solid work. All right. Let's see. We've got Johnny T at Johnny J.T. Thomas. Hey guys, any recommendations for a good Spider-Man and Carnage or Venom story to get? Cheers. Maximum Carnage is my favorite.
Maximum Carnage.
I would definitely do that. That's from like the mid 90s and it ran through Web of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular
Everywhere.
Spider-Man,
Just
your
get the
Friendly
trade.
Neighborhood Spider-Man. Get the trade of it because it's going to be hard to collect all the individuals.
Also, the first Carnage arc is really good. Amazing 362, I want to say.
That sounds right.
Amazing Spider-Man 362. It's a 3-issue arc. Yeah, and then it leads into 365 as the anniversary issue with the hologram cover. So 362, 363, 364 is a really fun arc, and it's Mark Bagley art. It's great, and it's also, you see where Carnage come from. Venom's there. I'd pick that up as well.
Yeah, but I would definitely recommend Maximum Carnage from like the mid
biggest.
'90s. It's one of the biggest Spider-Man stories ever.
Yeah.
So many people, like every single issue sees either a new villain or a new hero added to the fight.
And everyone's in it. Like Captain America shows
like Captain
up. all the
America.
villains-
It is fantastic. It's the first time I ever saw a person die in a comic book was
No
in
way.
Maximum Carnage. There's a scene where he like breaks into a dance club and like throws one of his like symbiote spikes through like a dance
I
like a
had
club goer.
Maximum Carnage as a kid, and my parents took it away from me because it was too violent, and I got it back years later. So that and there was another Carnage book where he's sitting on like this pile of skulls. I don't remember what it was
I
called.
don't remember that one, yeah.
And it literally, it's Carnage sitting on a pile of skulls, and then they took those away from me, and for like 5 years they were like these mythical things I had once that I had to get back once I was old enough to read them.
Oh, that's so
So they were like the
awesome.
hard R-rated comics of like when I was a kid, and then I read them as an adult, and I was like, well, I guess these are violent, but they weren't like
they
in
were-
my head. I made them way worse than they could ever be.
Like actually drawn in human
Right.
blood. Yeah.
So I mean, good parents, thank you for protecting me.
Very
but
true,
I made
very
them
true.
way worse.
So we've got Rupert Connell at Swoopert, who is in Edinburgh, Scotland. That's the worst accent. I'll never even try it. I'm so sorry. I just insulted like everyone in the entire world with that. He says, just read my first comic, Doctor Strange, The Oath, cause of Matt Key from Marvel Movie News. Told me to, but kept hearing his voice, not Cumberbatch's. Thank you.
Amazing.
Amazing. You know what? I can go home a champion today.
There's no greater compliment.
Simply because Rupert Connell, you have made my day.
That's fantastic. There's a few fans from when we first started, when I first came on the show, and they had said that I was the voice of like Deadpool for them or Spider-Man for them.
Yeah.
And that truly, as a kid reading comics, you hear certain voices. There is no greater compliment than doing a podcast and suddenly becoming the voice of a hero.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you very much, Rupert Connell and in Edinburgh, Scotland. That's fantastic. Also, we have John Edward Getz. I think I said that correctly. At John_Getz, Goetz, who says, bought my first 10 comics for $5, including 5 Man Without Fear issues at PSU Arts Fest. I'm not sure what that is. Due to at the Matt Key and Koy Jandro and Marvel News PTN. So, John,
So cool.
thank you.
Also, great bargain.
Yeah, great bargain. And if you're talking about the Man Without Fear, those are the ones by Jeff Loeb, right?
Frank Miller?
Or Frank?
Without Fear?
Is it Frank Miller? Yeah, maybe. I think you might be right. Those are great.
Yeah.
That's the one with like that's where you first get the blindfold mask and everything. Yeah, good work, John. That's great. Jeffrey Locke at Joffrey Locke. Nice, Joffrey. Oh, he spelled his name out. Joffrey. Very clever. Do you think you guys can talk more about the Marvel Now coming this October with Death of X and what Marvel is doing? I am not as familiar with that as I would like to be. I've seen the covers. I think what Marvel is doing is wacky.
Another reboot.
It's another
I'm
reboot.
so tired of new number ones,
I'm
man.
very tired of the new number ones. I think Marvel is trying very, very, very hard to create a much more diverse universe, but still continue to give it like a bigger, grander background
I've been
and
doing
everything
this
else.
show for a year and a half, and I think this is the 3rd time I've been upset about new number ones.
Yeah.
In like a year and a half?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's just the way it's done now, man. Like
kills
that's
me.
the new normal for comics.
It's good for new start sometimes, but not always. And then it betrays the collectors because I always feel like I can't. I mean, how do you
I get
categorize
it,
10
I get
number
it.
ones?
I get.
I got
no,
my
I
long
totally,
boxes.
I
They're
totally
pissed.
get
I got
it, but
volume
like,
8. Like you don't want to write volume 8 in a long box. Doesn't even make sense.
I actually wish that they put volume numbers on
That would
them
be better.
somewhere.
I have to
even
invent them.
if it's volume 8 issue 1 versus volume 7 issue 1, I can handle that.
Right.
yeah.
But it's not like just
but we are
restarting so
diehard
much.
fans who have been collecting for years. Like for the new collectors,
But even then, the new number ones reference the last issue that wasn't a number 0. It references
Dude,
like
I know,
number
I know.
17. So it's not even
I don't get it.
officially a
It's-
number 1.
It's
You
just
can
a
hide the
sales
volume.
thing.
You can hide the volume 1 inside the book too. Like if you put it on like that first like intro page where they give you the recap.
Yes.
Like that would be okay to me.
If they categorically wrote in the small bottom print on the front or the cover title of every comic where they have the actual like where it's from, which printing it is, all that stuff, and put a volume in there so I could organize my comics officially, I'd be okay with whatever number system they wanted. But instead, I just have a bunch of number ones that just are like willy-nilly. When I'm going back to collect stuff, I never know what... I Hulk out with number ones, man.
Well done, dude.
Why more?
Well done. Well done. That's some good timing, dude. Some good timing. The death of X. Here's what's interesting. Here's what I do know about the death of X. It is apparently telling the story of what happened to Cyclops in the 8 months between the end of Secret War and the beginning of All New, All Different. Mm-hmm. So we're going to finally see what is it that Cyclops did, what is it that Scott Summers did that was so bad, that made so many people so upset, that led to so much division. What's interesting about that, though, is that we've already seen the repercussions of that.
I kind of like that it was like we kind of had to fill it in ourselves.
I don't disagree with that. What's interesting, though, is that I don't remember seeing any X-Men books in Marvel Now.
Oh yeah,
and everything that was leaked, I don't see Extraordinary X-Men. I don't see All New X-Men. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and it's saying Death of X, but like that to me means that leading into October, like we're gonna see the X-Men actually disappear in some way. Like our mutants all gonna die, or are they all gonna discover that they're Inhumans?
Coming back in Spider-Man. What's going on?
I don't know.
The clone saga is apparently a thing in the.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, there's like a clone subplot apparently in the new Marvel stuff. So I have no idea what's happening.
Joffrey Locke, I apologize that we can't answer that as well as we would like.
Because we're confused.
Because we're also a little confused.
It's almost like there's a whole new number one coming out of every
time. Calm down. It's good. Shh, baby boy. Finally, we've got Tony Sherrod at Tormetheus. Good name. Tormetheus. I want that name. Awesome. I'm going to steal that name from you.
Good.
Are you guys familiar enough with the Runaways to do a hashtag Koicast?
Now, admittedly, I am not a giant Runaways. Like, I don't have a lot of Runaway knowledge, but I want to fan cast this with respect because I love Brian K. Vaughan. So I will come back next week having read some Runaways, and I will think on it because I do not like to disrespect the hashtag Koicast because I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, hashtag Koicast. This is a great hashtag.
Strong.
I'm going to keep that going.
Yeah, I like that. I'll think of people worthy, and I will touch on some Runaways.
Let me throw this at you. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be fan casting because I'm terrible at it. I can't fan cast to save my life. But I want to know your opinions on Nico Minoru.
Okay.
Like I love her. Mm-hmm. And last week, Doom reported on the Caecilius, or the Caecilius, as your co-host pointed out, that it's possible that we'll see Tina Minoru because of the comic book. They did the Prelude comic last week, and Tina Minoru was in it. So
I'll check it out.
Anyway, we've got to wrap it up. This has been
a Disney feature-length show.
Yeah, I know. It's hour 10. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Matt Key at the Matt Key.
I'm Coy Jandro at.
No, you can find me down at Comic-Con. Tweet at me, and if I can get away from whatever it is that I'm doing, I will find you. I've got some big stuff going on Friday night. Hopefully, I can talk about it next week. Yeah. And Coy, what do you got anything going on?
I'm Coy Jandro at Coy Jandro. I wasn't here last week, and I hate to brag, but I am now 5-0 in movie fights. Well, movie fights and TV fights. Screen Junkies, I'm 5-0. So I wanna keep going. And thanks everyone that tweeted me and watches, and maybe new viewers that are coming here from seeing me there. You guys are all amazing. I try to keep up on Twitter. It's been hard lately, but I can't make it to Comic-Con this week, so I'll be with all of you that are upset they can't make it. And if you meet up with Matt, give the love that you give me to him. He will give it back to me. He'll reciprocal Matt love.
I will.
I think that's all I can talk about right now. There's stuff brewing, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week for I'm guessing like a giant crazy Marvel show.
Yeah.
So anyway, see you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Kristian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners and principals.
All right, hey. All right, good job, guys. Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day.